subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get the updates instantaneously. Hello everyone and welcome to MHC Tech Talks. So guys, we are back with another episode of Techbytes, and as it is Sunday, so we'll have something very interesting to discuss about. And today I'll be discussing something about the refresh rate. I mean, this term you have heard a lot these days. I mean, a lot of smartphone manufacturers claim that they have 90 Hz refresh rate and 120 Hz refresh rate. So in today's video I'm going to talk about like what is refresh rate and how does it actually affects your performance. Should you consider it while buying smartphones? So everything we are going to cover about refresh rate, so stay tuned in the video and let's get started. So now let's try to read the Wikipedia definition for refresh rate. So it says refresh rate is most commonly the vertical refresh rate for CRT is the number of times in a second that a display hardware updates its buffer. So as this one was quite technical, so in layman terms, if I have to explain like what is the refresh rate, so you can just consider like if you are looking into a display, so there is some image of this layout, right? So in 1 second, if the refresh rate is let's say 60 Hz, so 60 images are used to display this image. Similarly, if it is 90 Hz, so in 1 second 90 images would be produced one after another and those are being displayed, which gives you a feel like it is more smoother than 60 Hz. And similarly for 120 Hz display, in 1 second there would be 120 instances of images in 1 second. So that is why we we get a more better UI, and the experience which is there is quite smooth while you are having a refresh rate more. And that is why it is suggested that more is the refresh rate, better is the quality and the feel which you get with the UI. But again, there are few things which we need to consider, like first, the refresh rate also depends upon the source. So as you know, major of the video content providers like Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, the maximum mostly they support 60 Hz refresh rate. So by this you can understand, like even if you have 90 Hz refresh rate or even if you have 120 Hz refresh rate, but if the content itself is being displayed at 60 Hz refresh rate, so there would be no difference between 60 Hz 90 Hz display as well as 60 Hz display. But the difference would come while like you are scrolling into your phone, or while you are exploring some apps, or there are some UI changes, or as you can see, the transition in this phone would be far better than what it is there in 60 Hz refresh rate phone. And similarly in 120 Hz refresh rate phone, this smoothness and the transitions would be more better than this 90 Hz refresh rate. So that is what the difference is between these refresh rates, and this company has smartphones company have created a quite of hype for this one. Definitely this is a must-have feature, but I don't think people usually recognize the difference. Only you will recognize the difference if you have been using a higher refresh rate phones for quite a time. For example, if you are using a 90 Hz refresh rate phone, or let's say 120 Hz refresh rate phone for quite a bit, and then you are switching to 60 Hz phone, then definitely you will feel the difference. But mostly it won't happen, because usually all our smartphones, majority of the smartphones are still having 60 Hz, and even iPhone till now has the 60 Hz refresh rate. So that is the difference between the refresh rate, and definitely it helps while we play games. So you might be, if you are a gamer and if you love playing PUBG or Free Fire, Asphalt and so in that also, if you are playing at high settings like 90 FPS, or if you are playing it in 120 FPS and full HD plus mode, then definitely you will see the performance is far better in the 90 Hz or 120 Hz refresh rate than as compared to what it is in 60 Hz refresh rate. But then again, it is not that much difference, because again it depends upon the processor, the RAM and other stuffs as well. So it's not only just the refresh rate, but a lot of combination of other things. So that is all about the refresh rate. I try to explain you like in simple terms what is refresh rate. Also, just to have an analogy between refresh rate, so you can compare the refresh rate with the video which you record. I mean, it is measured in FPS, which is frames per second. So in that as well, while recording the video, if it is 30 FPS, so there will be 30 images in per second, and in that way the video would be captured. So you can find the difference, like in 30 FPS the image is quite stuttering, but similarly if it is in 60 FPS there would be more clarity, because in 1 second there are 60 images for that one. So similarly is the case with the refresh rate of this displays. And the good thing is the refresh rate is not hardware dependent. I mean, it is not only for AMOLED screen, or let's say it's not only for IPS display. It is applicable for every this thing hardware, but it's just that you should have that capability in your processor, as well as that setting should be enabled in your smartphones. The first smartphone which introduced this one, I remember, is OnePlus, and we'll see like what all options do we get. I mean, definitely we get the option to switch between 60 hertz and 90 hertz. So right now, if you see, my phone is set in 90 hertz refresh rate, because I'm used to 90 hertz refresh rate. But then again, I don't find much difference apart from browsing, or when I'm in the app drawer section or other things, because for other apps I feel it is as it is. But it's just that it's few I mean, it is some enhancement over the regular 60 hertz refresh rate. But the drawback about using 60 hertz refresh rate is, as you can understand the logic behind it, because usually 60 hertz would be displaying 60 images in second, but 90 hertz refresh rate would be displaying 90 images in 1 second. So definitely it has to consume a battery. So that is the downside of having the higher refresh rate. But again, if you are a person who weighs this aspect more than battery, then definitely you should go for it. And similarly, I told you, like, I will tell you at the end of the video whether we should go for it or not. So I have already made a in-depth video. I'll leave the link, wherein I have given a smartphone buying guide, where we have compared a lot of other factors which we should consider while buying a phone. So you can check out that video as well if you haven't already. I'll leave the link in the description. So again, the refresh rate also is one of the point which you should consider buying while smartphone. If you are buying a new smartphone, and if there is not much difference between two phones, wherein one has 60 hertz and one has 90 hertz, then definitely I'll refer you that you buy the 90 hertz refresh rate. But if there is a significant amount of price difference between smartphones, and the only difference is of refresh rate, then I would suggest like 60 hertz refresh rate would also do. So guys, if you have learned something out of this video, so definitely hit like to this video, because it motivates me to create such video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, so please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in next.